You know what's cool? Video games. You know what's cooler than video games? Free video games. And the Nintendo Switch has quite a few games on the system that are completely free, and I thought to myself, you know, it would be a good idea to inform people what the 10 best free Nintendo Switch games are, because no one's ever made a video about free Nintendo Switch games before. Nope, no one ever has. Alright, it might not be the most original idea in the world, but hey, there's new games being added to the Switch all the time, and there's new free games being added as well. So in today's video, I want to talk about 10 Nintendo Switch games that are completely free that will give you the most bang for your buck. The best of the best, in my opinion. So if this is your first time on the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button, be sure to like and share the video as well. But without any further ado, let's talk about the 10 best free Nintendo Switch games. So we're going to kick things off with a spicy pick from me. If you've been following this channel for any length of time, you would know I'm not the biggest Pokemon fan in the world, and when researching games for this video, I said, well, Pokemon Unite is a free game, I might as well check it out. Now, Pokemon Unite is definitely a very predatory game as far as microtransactions and buying things in the game are concerned, but you know what? It's also a fun game as well. You could still have a really good time with this game without spending any actual coin in it. Now, the whole basis of it is you're basically playing a Pokemon MOBA style game where it's a 5-on-5 game and you're basically trying to attack the other enemies. By killing both enemies on the map and the real player enemies that are in the levels, you'll basically earn different points, and you could cash in on these points in different locations on the map, and the team with the most points at the end of it wins. You constantly level up, you constantly have access to new Pokemon as well. And yes, it is very predatory. They do want you to spend real world money, but you can still have a really good experience with this game without spending any money. I've actually been surprised at how much I've enjoyed my time with Pokemon Unite, and it is kind of addictive at the end of the day. So if you're looking for a free to play MOBA on the Nintendo Switch and you're looking for some Pokemon related fun, I definitely think Pokemon Unite is worth checking out. But if you're a hardcore Pokemon fan, you might want to hide your credit card from yourself, because I can see people easily racking up a lot of money in this game. Next up, we're going to talk about one of the oldest free-to-play games on the Nintendo Switch, and that is Fortnite. Look, I get it. Fortnite is kind of the laughingstock of the video game world, but realistically, Fortnite is another great game that doesn't require you to spend any money to have a great time. There's so many more game modes from the original Fortnite that I played way back in the day. Like, I haven't touched Fortnite in like a couple years, and I was surprised at all the different things that they've added into this game. There's new game modes, there's custom game modes, the map of course has changed, there's so many different character skins that you can get in the game as well, and yes, they do want you to spend money to get these things and of course get the battle pass. But even just playing the game at its core, I still think it's a lot of fun. The level itself is very interesting, and since it's always changing with the free updates that come with this game, there's always something new to check out with Fortnite. Yeah, you know, it's a game that everyone just kind of likes to make fun of, but it's also a game that's a lot of fun, and it looks and plays great on the Nintendo Switch, so you gotta include it on this list. Probably one of the deepest experiences when it comes to the free-to-play genre on the Nintendo Switch has to be Warframe. Now, Warframe will be the one of two war games that we're going to talk about in this video, so I hope I don't really mess up with the names. But Warframe is an interesting game where you play as essentially a character named Tenno, and you basically have different missions that you can do. There's player versus player, there's player versus environment, and of course you could team up with other people and take down these missions. Of course, you're constantly leveling up your Tenno, you're getting new abilities, you're getting new custom abilities, you're getting new armor, you're getting new weapons. So there's a plethora of stuff to check out in this game. The game itself looks absolutely beautiful on the Nintendo Switch. I would probably venture to say that this is one of the best looking free-to-play games on the Nintendo Switch, but also one of the best looking games on the Nintendo Switch in general. If you're a fan of fast-paced action games and you like sort of ninja stuff, and of course you like the grind of having to unlock different skins for your character, different weapons, and just different missions in general, I definitely think Warframe is a lot of fun, and it's easily a very addictive game as well. I have put well over 100 hours into Warframe, and I really don't regret any of my time with it because it's a super fun game, and much like a lot of these other free-to-play games, it's constantly changing and constantly expanding as well, and you can even fish in the game too, and I mean, fishing's kind of fun. Racing games are a dime a dozen on the Nintendo Switch, but free-to-play racing games, not so much. And that's where Asphalt 9 Legends comes into play. Asphalt 9 Legends is a criminally underrated Nintendo Switch game because I feel like people just see that free-to-play moniker and don't end up checking it out. Now, this game is a little bit predatory when it comes to the free-to-play mechanisms. You could do things like run out of gas, and there's only limited amounts of times that you can play the game. So if you're expecting to play like a 10-hour long session of this game, you might be a bit disappointed and you might end up having to spend money. But if you're just looking for a quick pick up and play experience, play it for an hour or two, this game is absolutely fantastic. Everything looks beautiful in this game. It really looks like almost a AAA Nintendo Switch game, but it's a free to play game. The racing itself is really fun as well. It definitely feels a lot like a Burnout style game, and even sort of reminds me of Burnout 3, which is my favorite Burnout game of all time. There's a ton of different cars to unlock in the game. There's a ton of different tracks. Of course, there's online racing as well. There's constantly being added into updates with this game too. It's just a really impressive game that, yeah, you could get a little bit addicted to it and want to spend some actual money. But if you're able to restrain yourself, Asphalt 9 Legends is an awesome experience on the Nintendo Switch, and it won't cost you a penny as long as you have some restraint. Growing up, everyone wants to be a superhero. I mean, at least I did. I still think I'm Batman from time to time. And DC Universe Online allows you to be a superhero for absolutely nothing to get into the game. Now, the game does have a lot of content that they want you to buy. A bunch of different skins, a bunch of different characters, a bunch of different things like that. But this is essentially an open world action RPG with a ton of different missions, a ton of different interesting characters from the DC Universe, and it's all just sort of blended in together in a really interesting mix. You'll have Superman and Batman and Joker all at the same time, all on the same level. The different missions that you encounter are pretty fun. Some of them are pretty basic, but of course the main draw to this game is creating your own superhero, giving your superhero different abilities, being able to fly and soar across the level, or being super strong and lumbering throughout different enemy types that you encounter in this game. DC Universe Online is a super fun game, and it's something that you can get very addicted to. And as long as you don't really care about the different character skins in the game, I think DC Universe Online is a top-notch free-to-play experience on the Nintendo Switch, and you will get a ton of time out of this game. The next game we're going to talk about used to be a $20 game, but has since gone free to play since last year, and that is Rocket League. Now, the best way to describe Rocket League is pretty much soccer with cars, but it somehow works. It's a very addictive game, and a game that of course has been very popular. I think switching to the free to play mechanism is definitely a big win for this game because it expands the user base that is allowing people to play this game. Now, this game does offer cross-platform play as well, so there's tons of people to play with online. I probably would avoid the PC players though, because I don't know, they seem to have a little bit of an advantage with their mouse and keyboard and whatever they're doing and all their sort of crazy stuff. But Rocket League is a super fun and super satisfying game. You don't have to like sports or anything like that in order to like Rocket League. Just basically push your car into the ball and get that ball into the goal and score your team some points. There's a bunch of different levels, there's a bunch of different areas, there's a bunch of different cars to unlock, and there's even some cool stuff like Mario and Samus cars in the Nintendo Switch version of the game. Like I said, Rocket League is now free to play and is definitely a top-notch experience on the Nintendo Switch. One of the most underrated characters in the Nintendo franchises has to be Kirby, in my opinion. And while Kirby Star Allies was an okay game, there is a free-to-play Kirby experience on the Nintendo Switch, and you know what? It's a lot of fun. And that game is Super Kirby Clash. Now, essentially what this game is, you team up with other people online, and you take down these big bosses. Now, there are a couple different styles of Kirby that you can play as, and really the action is very fast and frantic, but it looks exactly like Kirby Star Allies, maybe even a little bit better at times. So I think this game has a lot of polish to it. Of course, your Kirby character will level up, you can get different abilities, you can get different weapons that you can use, so there's a lot of depth to this game as far as playing it. Now, it does run on a system that's basically apple based, and you get different apples and things like that, and that allows you to open up more quests. So if you run out of apples, you might run out of gameplay time for that day, but they do replenish. I think Super Kirby Clash is a really fun game, and considering that it's free, if you're looking for a good Kirby experience, but you don't want to spend the dough to pick up Kirby Star Allies, I definitely think Super Kirby Clash is worth checking out. One of the most common genres for free-to-play games is of course the Battle Royale style of game. But one game that does Battle Royale very differently from the other games has to be Vigor. Now Vigor's an interesting game because essentially what you're doing is you're just trying to create your base and build up your home base. Now the way you build up your home base is by basically gathering resources that are spread throughout different areas. Now when you visit these other areas, there's basically other characters that are doing the same thing as you, but that's where the fun comes in with Vigor. Do you decide to try to take out your enemies and take their loot, or do you just want to be stealthy and ignore them and go about your own business, gather your resources, and then head back to base? That's what Vigor really brings to the table, and it's super unique because there's a real sort of mechanic there that just doesn't feel like any other game. That's that risk versus reward emphasis that this game has that really makes it stand out from the other games. I really like this game because it's very addictive. Do I want to be greedy and try to get as many resources as possible, or do I just want to get what I need to get and then get the hell out of there before I get shot? There's a lot of strategy that goes into it, and I think Vigor is a super underrated game, and the fact that you have that risk versus reward makes it very addictive when you are playing this game. The Bomberman franchise has been around for a very long time. We of course got a Super Bomberman game on the Nintendo Switch when the system first came out. But what if you just want to play online and have fun and blow up other people, or at least try to, in a Battle Royale style game? Well, that's where Super Bomberman R Online comes into play. Super Bomberman R Online is essentially a Battle Royale style Bomberman game, in which up to 64 different people are basically trying to blow up each other in a Bomberman gameplay style. I really like this game because it's very simple. If you know how to play Bomberman, you'll know how to succeed in this game. Plant your bombs, run away, make sure the bombs don't explode on you, pick up items while you're playing it to make your bomb stronger or make your character faster, and of course this is a game that offers a lot of different character skins that you can use in it. Now yes, most of these character skins you do have to pay for, but they do give you a free one here and there to check out. If you like characters like Solid Snake or Pyramid Head from Silent Hill, there's a bunch of different Konami related characters that you can access in this game, and yes, that's where the free-to-play mechanic tries to make you pay for these actual things. But as long as you can resist it and you're just looking for a fun pick up and play Bomberman experience, I think Super Bomberman R Online is a very fun game because who doesn't like blowing up other people? And the final game we're going to talk about is the free-to-play game that I have played the most on my Nintendo Switch because it's a genre that is definitely lacking, the first-person shooter genre. Now, you don't have Call of Duty or Battlefield on your Nintendo Switch, so what do? Well, you pick up Warface, which is basically a Call of Duty clone. Like, I don't really know any other way to explain this, but it is a war-based first-person shooter in which you shoot other people. And, like, that's the whole basis of the game. You get different guns, of course, and you could try out different guns, but you basically just want to take out the other characters. Now there's a bunch of different game modes in this game. There's free-for-all, there's even a Battle Royale style game where you pick up weapons on the map and try to kill other people, but honestly I just play this game for team deathmatch and I have never been bored with it. It's a standard military first-person shooter, but instead of having to pay $60 or $70 for the latest Call of Duty game, this is a free-to-play game. I really don't know how this game makes money. Like, I guess you could buy different things in it, but I've never even really looked into it because I don't care. Like, I get the in-game currency and that's what I use to upgrade my weapons or get different weapons or get different armors and things like that, some sort of cosmetic things. And there's even some player versus environment things you could do in the game as well, where you team up with other people and do different missions to unlock different stuff in the game. I absolutely love Warface. Every time I stream this game over on the live channel, people are like, what is this game? This is on the Nintendo Switch? What is it called? So I just want to give some shine to Warface because I really think it's an underrated game, and if you're looking for a first-person shooter, it's definitely a game worth checking out. Alright, so those are the 10 best free-to-play games in no particular order from the Nintendo Switch in my personal opinion. Now, I didn't add in games like Super Mario 35 or Tetris 99 or Pac-Man 99 because I feel like those games kind of aren't really free-to-play. You have to buy Nintendo Switch Online in order to play those games, so you do have to pay money. And plus, we saw Super Mario Bros. 35 go away after a few months, so it was like, the hell was the point of that? Why can't I still play that game? But let me know in the comments section down below what you think of these free-to-play games. Have you played all of these games? And what games that I didn't talk about in this video that maybe I should check out that are free-to-play games? And as always, guys, thank you for checking out this video. If you are new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Be sure to like and share the video as well. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Later.